Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Julie, and tonight in this lesson, we're going to be working on tag questions number 4. Now, if you've already done tag questions numbers 1, 2, and 3, you're probably getting very good at it. So let's continue with tag questions number 4. So let's switch over, get our trusty work screen. Here it is. Okay, good. So tag questions number 4. All of my students have difficulty using tag questions. I don't know why, it's really so easy. A tag question is when an interrogative element is added to a declarative clause. Tag questions are used very commonly in English, so it's a good idea to learn how to use them correctly. Here are some more examples of how to use some tag questions. We're going to be looking at could tonight. So if we say I could, the affirmative tag would be could I, and the negative tag is couldn't I. You could you in the affirmative, couldn't you in the negative. He could he in the affirmative, couldn't he in the negative. She could she in the affirmative, couldn't she in the negative. It could it, affirmative, couldn't it in the negative. We could we, couldn't we in the negative. They could they, affirmative, couldn't they in the negative. So far, so good? I'm sure it is. Okay, so don't forget, if the beginning of your sentence is affirmative, the end of your sentence would be negative, and vice versa. If it's the negative in the beginning of the sentence, then it's the affirmative at the end of the sentence. So let's see some sample sentences here. Okay, I could finish it before Friday, couldn't I? I couldn't finish it before Friday, could I? You could see the difference, couldn't you? You couldn't see the difference, could you? We could share an apartment, couldn't we? We couldn't share an apartment, could we? They could just cancel the event, couldn't they? They couldn't just cancel the event, could they? He could stay longer, couldn't he? He couldn't stay longer, could he? It could happen again, couldn't it? It couldn't happen again, could it? Notice I don't pronounce the L in could or couldn't. I could collaborate with them, couldn't I? I couldn't collaborate with them, could I? She could be famous, couldn't she? She couldn't be famous, could she? So easy. And this girl will definitely be famous. She could be famous, couldn't she? She seems to have a lot of talent. Okay, so now we're going to use would. So same thing. I would, affirmative tag, would I, negative tag, wouldn't I. We don't pronounce the L. You would you, affirmative, wouldn't you, negative. He would he, affirmative, wouldn't he, negative. She would she, affirmative, wouldn't she, negative. It would it, affirmative, wouldn't it, negative. We would we, affirmative, wouldn't we, negative. They would they, affirmative, wouldn't they, negative. Here's some more sample sentences. They would help you, wouldn't they? They wouldn't help you, would they? Always the same structure. You learn it once in English and you just repeat the same thing over and over. She would be angry if I told her, wouldn't she? She wouldn't be angry if I told her, would she? He would know what to do, wouldn't he? He wouldn't know what to do, would he? It would be challenging, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be challenging, would it? I would recognize him, wouldn't I? I wouldn't recognize him, would I? You would be surprised, wouldn't you? You wouldn't be surprised, would you? We would prefer knowing the truth, wouldn't we? We wouldn't prefer knowing the truth, would we? She would be happy with flowers, wouldn't she? She wouldn't be happy with flowers, would she? Of course she would be happy with flowers. What mother wouldn't be happy with flowers? I don't know any. I have flowers right behind me. I got them for my birthday 2 days ago. Yeah, from my daughter. So I'm very happy. Okay, next. We're going to be looking at should. Once again, we don't pronounce the L in should. So I should, affirmative tag, should I? Negative tag, shouldn't I? You should you, affirmative? Shouldn't you, negative? He should he, in the affirmative? Shouldn't he, in the negative? She should she, affirmative? Shouldn't she, negative? It should it, affirmative? Shouldn't it, negative? We should we, affirmative? Shouldn't we, negative? They should they, affirmative? Shouldn't they, negative? Okay, so here's some sample sentences with should. He should tell his parents about it, shouldn't he? He shouldn't tell his parents about it, should he? We should leave now, shouldn't we? We shouldn't leave now, should we? I should follow the instructions, shouldn't I? I shouldn't follow the instructions, should I? You should tell them what happened, shouldn't you? You shouldn't tell them what happened, should you? She should apply for that job, shouldn't she? She shouldn't apply for that job, should she? It should take a few days to arrive, shouldn't it? It shouldn't take a few days to arrive, should it? They should demolish that old building, shouldn't they? They shouldn't demolish that old building, should they? Of course they should. It's ready to be demolished. It's a very ugly, old, falling down building. It's ready to go. Okay, and that's it for your affirmative and negative tags with should, would, and could. Is there anything easier than that? I don't think so. That was very easy stuff. And because you guys have done the other tag questions, numbers 1, 2, and 3, you guys are starting to get it. You're starting to get the hang of it. I know this for a fact. However, if you want to continue improving your English, you can get yourselves a copy of Basic English. This is now the 4th edition. I always told you to get the 3rd edition, but now the 4th edition is out. So you can get a copy of this. It's available everywhere, online, in bookstores, distributed and published by McGraw-Hill. You can get it on Amazon, of course. This book will really help you to improve your English very, very quickly. The answer key is at the back to support you while you are learning. If you're having difficulty with your verb tenses, which everybody tells me they have difficulty with verb tenses, I don't know why, it's so easy. You can get yourselves a copy of English verb tenses. Also available online everywhere, especially on Amazon. You can get a copy. So check that out. The answer key is at the back to support you while you are learning as well. There are many other lessons on my YouTube channel, so you can do all of those, any of those that you are having difficulty with. So that's all that I have to say for tonight. I wish you guys a pleasant evening, and I'll see you in the next lesson, which I already know is going to be tag questions number 5. Okay, goodbye for now.